I mean, Carsten looked at me there straight away and went like, "What are you talking about, Colin? Have you not seen? Have you not seen it?
I've not seen, no.
Okay, yeah.
Explain
to it. Go on.
They just made a funny reel at like Brussels where they just gave athletes a Rubik's Cube like right after the race, and everyone's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And then I was like, "Oh, awesome!" And I just solved it.
Actually, very impressive. I've tried a lot of times. I can get one side right, but I'm struggling with the other.
The whole
sides.
thing, just like chatting away and just literally went, well, there you go. While everybody else was horrified and mortified. So, if there's one type you've taken, it's definitely that one.
It's a nice flex, yeah, for sure.
It's a pretty
something you just kind of learn once, and then afterwards, it's like you don't really forget it. So, yeah.
Oh, Femke, and for you, this is the first time we are doing a press conference together. I mean, you could tell people what you said. You said, should I be scared? No, I think we'll be all good. So if we start, I'd like to start with you, Gareth. I mean, an impressive early season, of course, indoors, world record for the mile. Everybody was literally rubbing their hands together, thinking to themselves, this boy's on for a great season in that sense. And for you, surely, it was going that way.
No, yeah, it really was. I feel like, beginning of the year was just indoor, then Grand Slam, and then kind of transitioning to the middle of summer. I felt, just very strong with the races that I had put together and just what I was doing with my training. So, yeah, definitely started out pretty well.
We're here, this time in the final, and of course, for you it's pretty important, a victory. It could make a difference to where your season finishes.
No, yeah, it's, since I did not get in the top 3 at USA's, for me it's, kind of nice to have the second chance to come back here to Zurich, and instead of top 3, now you got to win. But especially with the level of caliber at this competition. But I feel like, I kind of know what I have to do, and I'm going to make sure that I can do everything to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be wishing you a lot of luck there, of course, and that it goes very smooth indeed. I mean, Femke, for you, your season, I described to Noah, he had a balanced season in that sense. I feel it's exactly the same for you. You did what you needed to do indoors, you came out, did what you did on the flat as well as over the hurdles, and you're in a very good place. World leading, sub 52 seconds, Diamond League final, favourite, going into the World Championships, again a favourite. Does that add a little bit of pressure, or can you be a little bit complacent, do you think?
Well, I mean, of course it adds pressure, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing if you can handle it, and if I can put it in the right place in my mind. So I think it also helps me to be sharp and be ready.
And will you do both relays again, as you did previously?
We will see. I will have to talk with the coach when it's getting close, because it's always a last-minute decision. So far it's always been a yes, and we'll see on day 1.
Do you ever negotiate with them and go, listen, I need more medals? Right? Or do you really make the real final decision for you? He goes, no. Just stick it to the hurdle.
Yeah, he knows me best, so
yeah.
It will be fine.
That's fair enough. I mean, for you, Carsten, as well, let's start off in Bislett, right? You always love starting at home. Bislett, 300-meter hurdles, crazy performance, right? I mean, absolutely crazy. For you, you must have been very excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. I think bringing 3-meter hurdles was like a fun way to do it, and also to start like the first half of the season, because this year was going to be a very long season. So it was very fun to win at home. It was very important to me as well, because I lost there the year before, so I really wanted a win, and I got it. So it was a fun race. I think it was something different.
Fun. I took my breath away when I saw the winning time. I mean, Femke, you can really appreciate how quick that he was.
Even you would have struggled back in the days with that, huh?
Yeah. Me, I was so impressed. I was so impressed. And then, a couple of days later, after the elation of that, I kind of thought I need to just bring it back down a little bit. You went to Stockholm, and people were like, what's happened to
Carsten? I can't remember going to Stockholm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was there.
Yeah, it wasn't you, that was for sure. I mean, what was
it was
that
my twin brother.
Yeah, it must have been in that sense. But I mean, going again, we spoke with the 100-meter boys about this as well, and there's no fear factor anymore. People go out and take on the races. They'll go head-to-heads, they'll take on the challenges of people. In Stockholm, you took on the 2 best in the world apart from yourself. I mean, you did it.
I I would say still in the game there's a lot of fear factor. A lot of athletes are pulling out every now and then. But to me it's more like, of course after that win in Bislett, it's like you want to just surf that wave. But been in this game for many years and become a greedy bastard, so I always think that I can win. That's as simple as it is. You know, if I see someone run 45 and a half in hurdles, I would still think that I could beat them, and that's my toxic trait maybe. But that's also why I always keep showing up, because I always think I can win. There's no doubt in my mind. I remember we went to Eugene in 2022. I had half a hamstring, and we still were talking about winning. It didn't go that way. We got 7th, but still, it's like you need to think a little bit of unrealistic thoughts and believe in them if you want to achieve something in this game. And I think people should not be afraid of going head to head.
Jared, for you, I mean, that is clear. I mean, your event is always loaded again. There's no hiding place. You know, once you're been a champion, once you've been a medalist, you're wearing a target for everybody else to attack, and you must feel that as well.
No, yeah, 100%. I think the 1500 has just been so deep, I think, these last couple of years, and I feel, you know, everyone just really feels like, oh, they can get into that medaling position and, like, really be there if they're in the final. And honestly, it's true. I feel like a lot of the runners that we see at this level are, like, capable of medaling on the right day, and it just kind of comes down to, you know, what kind of race, how their training's been, and how it pans out. But yeah, and they're just getting, like, younger and younger, too, so it's just crazy.
I was going to say, in the hurdles, people really don't just appear from nowhere. You know, you actually see them come in and build through. In the 1500 meters, literally, you would not know who's this person that's just rocked up, and they run 3:28. I mean, again, that must be so frustrating when you're one of the world's best.
I don't know if it's frustrating. Honestly, I think I'm kind of here for it. I think, you know, you can never get too complacent in the 1500. It's always going to be a challenge. It's always going to be hard. And I think, you know, that's really how I want to race, is against the best guys who are always just popping out of nowhere if they are. And, you know, just seeing what I can do against them.
And you do all right in jumps at the time, yeah. You can hold your head up in this sense. I mean, Femke, for you, when we've seen the big improvements, of course, you went under 51 seconds as well last year in that sense. You changed your stride pattern, you've got better cadence, you've been able to use your speed more between there. I mean, how much more progression can we see of that? Will we see more times of you going under 51?
Well, I would love to see it. I mean, it's what you strive for, to become a better athlete on the track and to see this back in the times. Of course, I have like, now I think 6 or 7 below 52, which I'm already really happy about, and I'm really consistent this year. But it's really, for hurdles, you need everything to be perfect. I need everything to be perfect to be able to do this. I think Tokyo will be a great tech. I will try to execute my race as good as possible, but you will only see over the line where it ends up.
Whereabouts in the race do you feel the most comfortable? Is it right at the beginning when you've already set yourself up, or is it coming off hurdle 8 as you come into the home straight? Where do you feel at your very strongest?
Yeah, if I balance out my race well, the first part I always feel the best around hurdle 8, then to 9, 10 I feel really comfortable. I like the lactic, I know it's my strong point, it's just where you normally also can race the others, so it's really the part where I feel comfortable. If I go out too fast, not anymore, but if you balance it well out, that's where I like it the most.
And I'm going to flip that straight over to you.
No.
I'm going out very fast. And then lactic, why did you come in my head? I don't know.
I think back to the unrealistic part. I think that's where we tend to think the way that we want to see. You know, you don't open too fast, you just finish too slow. And that's been like the mantra of ever since we started. I remember in the beginning we started going off super hard, died a lot in the end, and we lost a couple of races doing that in 2018. And a lot of people were asking questions about, you know, the strategy, but I think also we worked it in the right direction, so that every time when I actually open fast and can close the race, it's really good. But of course it takes a lot of preparation, and it takes a really really good body. But no, to me, it's probably been the last 2 hurdles where I've struggled the most. I feel very strong the first 5 hurdles. That's probably where it's really good. But we also built a very big capacity on the speed for the first 5 hurdles. I think I can run them really fast. So if I can slow it a little bit down, I still think I can open quite fast in the first 5, 6, 7 hurdles and finish up like I did in Poland, for example, which was a more moderate race in that way.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened in Poland this time. Like you can't remember Stockholm, I don't remember Poland as well. I mean, your second fastest, I think was your second fastest time, right? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was second fastest.
It's the fastest race from anyone outside Tokyo.
Yeah, in that sense. Was that expected? I mean, I was with you a couple of weeks before, obviously.
And it didn't look like it, no?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything in that sense. But put it this way, I jumped up and down with glee. So,
Thank
yeah,
you,
yeah.
No, I think we kind of saw it coming from where, the training had been going really, really well. But still, I think there's been a lot of training sessions after Tokyo Olympics where I performed better than I did. But still, it's not pure mathematics when you're running. You can't just say, okay, these are training times, and then in competition you will do exactly that. Then you're probably running too safe. But, also in Poland was good conditions. I had a good shape, and I also hit the sweet spot on my opening pace, and I could close the race very good. So I didn't expect it to come there, but I knew I was in that territory. For sure.
And we'll take it. Yeah, I do.
Me too, for sure. Did you update your app, putting in my result?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure, always there. I mean, yeah, for you in this sense, what I find really, I want to use the word frustrating, because you can be your very, very best, and people just get in the way. Of your best performance. You've got to seek your way and find your way to produce your very best if you don't strike things early enough. I mean, for you as the athlete that's running, I mean, things happen so quickly. I mean, how do you kind of try and do your very best to eliminate that so you can produce you?
Yeah, I think in the 1500 especially, it's like there's going to be tactics in almost any kind of race, whether it's fast or slow. I think you minimize it a lot when you're having a fast race and you're just behind some pacers. So what I did at pre was very just racing as fast as I could. So there's not really too much to think about there. But I think when you really want to make sure that you can win a race, it's either you got to really either hammer that out and then not die at the end like I did at pre, or you just have to kind of be a little smart about what's happening around you. And at a certain point it's more just intuition. I think I've been racing for several years at this point, and I think I kind of know when I'm feeling good enough to make a move or how I'm going to respond to a certain move, and it just kind of you take every situation as it comes and then try to learn from it afterwards. But it's just the 1500, that's what I love about it.
It's just the 1500 meters. I mean, Femke, you mentioned about lactic acid, right? I mean, when you try to find your way through and you've got lactic, I mean, that's got to be worse than lactic and jumping things, surely. Give appreciation.
I don't want to compare because 400 is hard enough, and then you're doing the hurdles. But I feel that last 300 especially, I think that's kind of where it all boils down to.
Yeah.
And it's just everything hurts, or you're trying to be smart and walking out of to your right, you're just okay, is anyone passing me? No, and if someone is, I got to respond to that, and just There's a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of times it's not, like I said, as thinking. You're just more just kind of
doing. Yeah. I mean, for you, Femke, I mean, when people are there, because obviously lanes where people are positioned, you've still got to keep your mind, because people may go out a little bit quick. You're not sure what shape they're in. They could be in awesome shape, but you've got to still keep the discipline of your race. How do you manage that time after time?
Yeah, I think for me that's easier on a hurdles than a flat, for example, because I once looked too much around and I hit hurdles. It's you have your hurdles in the way, and that's the most important. And I think at one point you know how to pace your hurdles, and I know what's my right pace. And I think unconsciously it can help when people are going fast, or when they're going a bit slower, maybe it helps when you overtake them also. So it's pretty much my own race, and then at hurdle 8 I get to race, and that's how I really like it. But in the end, With hurdles, you first have to get over your own 10 hurdles before you race too much others yet, because you all have different stride patterns, different way of running, and if you go with other people, you may do extra step or things like this. So that's really what I love about the hurdles. It's your own race for a long time.
Would you take the risk? You know, sometimes when you warm up and things feel really spot on, would you ever take the risk of going, do you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm throwing everything out the window, I'm just going to do it and just see what happens. Have you ever thought about taking that risk? Because you have the capabilities, because you're a long way ahead of people at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I ran RPB and I showed a full, we went there and my coaches said, just go, because the whole season I was a lot in my mind. I was scared I was going to die on the last part, which was my strong part. A lot of doubts were in my head, and I think there he told me, go and see where you end up, and it ended up pretty great. I must say, in the Olympic final, it was a bit the same. It ended up the other way around. So
Right.
there's, you know, Carson is really strong with the speed. It's my weaker part, so it's why I think everyone needs to balance their race, how it works for them. But it's nice to go and feel like you're flying over the hurdles. But yeah, for me, the first few are always a bit of struggle, so I really need to keep my head in the game.
Keep your head in the game. Questions from the floor. Hands are going up straight away. Okay, we'll go on with the mics there. Here we go.
Question to Femke on your... Do you ever watch the YouTubes of your two great relay comebacks at Budapest and Paris, and they shouting, Femke is running down Jamaica? Do you watch them?
No, I sometimes see them passing on Instagram, but no.
You sound disappointed. Yes.
I'm really like Karsten, with double questions. I have one for him and one for Femke. So Karsten, since we saw you in London in 2017, being such a shocker, winning the World Championship, and up to now, how have you evolved as an athlete and as a person, psychologically and technically?
It's a great question. I think, first of all, I'm 8 years older, and I feel that every morning when I wake up. That's probably the biggest difference. But I think also I learned a lot more about being, disciplined. I was very young back then. I was living with my 3 friends, which I grew up with, and we had a lot of fun. I was living a different life, and I understood quickly that to be in this game and to be on top, you have to first of all surround yourself with great people, which I've always done. I've always been with the same coach with life, and we built a great relationship with a lot of consistency in the training. So building over the years also is a big strength, but also how I live my life. I feel like now I live my life as an athlete. I know what I have to do to be in a position where I want to be, and that is probably all just knowledge you can get from experience. So I feel like I'm much more experienced, and I feel much more confident in the way I handle my everyday life. So, but I miss those days for sure.
They'll come back, don't worry. They'll come back.
I hope not.
When my age is on.
Thank you so much. And Femke, what's your feeling about your stride change this season? Do you feel solid about it? Do you feel your best times are yet to come? How are you processing the changes?
Yeah, I'm really happy with that change. It was not a huge one compared to going from 50 to 14, but I think it was more in the details now, and I actually never felt as good to hurdle 1 as I did before, so I think it's working well. I feel strong over the last barriers. So yeah, I'm feeling confident in it. I think I'm really consistent so far this season, so I'm hoping to drop, of course, at one point, but no, I'm happy. I think I know how to race it now. It's going automatically, so it's good.
So you say, Mike? You have a mic at the front here. Thank you.
Okay. So, question for Karsten. What was really impressive in Poland was not just the time, but the fact that you ran 46:28 coming off a big block of almost 2 months training. So that must give a lot of confidence.
For sure, training works, and I think the only thing that was a bit surprisingly to myself as well, that surprised me was that I could run this fast coming straight out of training. we had the last really hard training session just, a little week before that race. So, hopefully the shape can continue to build. But yeah, it was a good one. So thank you.
Question there?
Question for Karsten. It's nice to see you again.
Hello, Kato. How are you?
Good.
You visited us in Oslo.
All
Very
right.
good to be here.
All right.
So, as you said, you ran second best time in Zürich DLF. So many people expect you to run 45 seconds again in Tokyo. So, don't you feel any pressure about it?
Wow. Yeah, I think, of course, a lot of the people coming to Tokyo hope for a great race again, and for sure I think it will be a great race in Tokyo. It will be all the same guys lining up there. Everybody wants to win. None of them are here like Alison and Rai, so I guess they're home preparing. They also saw the Poland race maybe. So I guess it will be a fierce match, and I really look forward. For the world record, it's weird, now I'm getting closer. So I remember when I got close to Kevin Young's world record, I was pushing for 2 years, and what happened was that I was almost like pushing myself away from the world record, because you're trying to do something different, you're trying to do something more, and it usually is not working. I don't know, but I think a lot of us will race for the gold medal, and if that's going to take a really good time, I think we will get close, and I would love to break that world record again, but it's not going to be easy, I can assure you that. So first of all, order me some good weather and some nice conditions, and we'll see.
You don't want much then.
What?
You don't want much. Good weather, good conditions.
Yeah, I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah, you do. Do you have another question there?
Question for Jared. What kind of race you want tomorrow? What will give you the best possibility to win? Because you're known as a front runner, but you want a tactical race in Poland. So, what do you think?
I think, honestly, like a fast race would probably be my preferred. I think the pace is going to be fast. I think I just saw it today, and I feel, in those really fast races, especially if like the conditions aren't great tomorrow, which doesn't look like they will be, I think it becomes a really, strong battle of like will and who wants it the most. And I think in that kind of race, like, with what I have on the line, then that's the kind of race I'll perform the best in.
And we have one more question from the floor there. There's a mic up there. It's on this way. Here we go. Oh, you need to get 2 mics then.
Jared. My question is, if you don't win this race tomorrow, it'll be the end of your season. How does that make you feel?
Damn.
That was the last question. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That would be a tough feeling. I think a tough pill to swallow for sure. But I don't think I would let one thing really dictate how my season has been. I think I still had a good 2025 if I don't get to make it to Tokyo, and I think it's about remembering the good things that happened this year too, and not just focusing on like, oh, I didn't make it to Tokyo, if that's what happens. So, yeah.
Okay, you'll take it.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Femke, Jan and Carsten. It's been wonderful having a bit of time talking with you.